Thank you guys so much for coming today. Such an honor. Such an honor. Somebody that's been doing jiu-jitsu for, you know, most my entire adult life. I've been training since I was 18. You know, we had you in New Mexico 15 years ago.
It's good to see you again.
Oh my God. It's like we had the same number, you know, I'm like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah, Royce Gracie. Oh my God. I could have just texted you.
Yeah.
So man, unbelievable. I'm so grateful that you're able to come today, and you know, your son,
Yeah.
you know, how do you, Khonry?
Khonry, yeah.
But it's spelled K-H-O-N-R-Y. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
it's amazing,
Khonry.
you know, amazing to have you on the mat together. Like,
Yeah.
Man, for me, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
And the students had some good questions today too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree.
They had some good questions.
They got, you know, like a bucket list thing almost, right? If you do jiu-jitsu, to have the man, you know, come and
I
you know,
agree.
be on the mat to train, you know.
Yeah.
It's, thank you.
I already saw a bunch of the posts. A lot of the students are posting, say, "Hey, thank you very much." And good group.
How does it feel after all these years?
I love to teach, so it it brings me up when I'm around people, teaching people.
Zoom is a different story, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you've tried it.
I wasn't made for Zoom.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Gotta teach hands-on.
Yeah, I agree.
It's people can learn through the TV and watching and books, but on the end of the day, you have to have hands-on.
Yeah, the touch.
Come in and train and do it and have a personal coach. One thing is for you to practice at home by yourself, lifting weights by yourself. You have a coach, is a whole different game. He can push you.
Yeah, it definitely ups your level for sure.
How is it getting on the mat or teaching with your son? How is that? How does that feel?
He knows exactly what I'm gonna teach. He knows. We don't have to talk about it, but he knows. By the way I start to explain, he already knows we're connected. So he already knows the move that I'm gonna do it, which way I'm gonna go, which move, which sequence I'm gonna teach. With just such a connection, we didn't even talk. I just pull him in. He already knew. As soon as I start talking about what I'm gonna teach, he already knows. Clicks in. Been around me so long.
Yeah, I think we've been doing it for so long now that.
But I was like this with Horion too.
Yeah.
I was like this. Hardy would call me up. It's like my attention was on him, and he started to teach. And now, okay, I know exactly where he's going. And with teaching, so we've been not a sparring partner. We've been a partner to each other.
Without having to communicate, without having to say a word.
It's all in body language.
Just on the looks, on the eyes.
Just on the looks, yeah. That's.
How is it growing up a Gracie?
It's good. Like my father always said, it can either be a blessing or a curse. You know, you either know what you're doing on the mat, which in turn can make it a blessing. You know, you can teach, you can fight if you would like, or you don't know what you're doing. You know, and then people can come challenge you, and you know, don't know how to defend yourself. And I think, you know, thank God for me, it's a blessing. You know, I know what I'm doing, so.
Yeah. I mean, my friends, right? Like, I never compete against. Of course, we have like all of us we're Gracie students, you know, in Brazil, you know, my Brazilian friends and everything. But if you competed against a Gracie, like you would bring your A game to try to, you know, put that on your. Everyone does, right? So, you know, did you compete a lot in jiu-jitsu?
No, not in tournaments.
Not in tournaments, yeah.
Just because of the whole point system thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the point system. So martial art in general, my father used to say, it was built for you to defend yourself for a street situation, for a street fight, not to a competition, a tournament, a point. So it's, yeah, I'm not much into this. So I never push him in competing, jiu-jitsu, tournaments, straight to MMA.
Yeah.
Straight to MMA. Straight to Bellator.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu straight to Bellator, yeah.
Man, I remember when
but if you think about it, why most 99.9% of the people wants to learn martial art, sometimes they come in and you know that they say, oh, because I want to get in shape. You want to get in shape, dude? Go to a gym, go lift weights, go for a run. Oh, because I saw Royce fight. It's not because he saw me fighting. He saw the technique that I use. So to be able to defend myself against somebody bigger, he's stronger. So that's why they come in to learn. But they don't know. They just say, oh, because I want to learn martial art. They want to learn how to defend themselves in a street fight situation.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that compete in the tournament, but some do submission only tournaments, you know. But you know, I come from I think the old school, like Draculino, we do self-defense, you know, it's part of the curriculum, you know, and a lot of schools don't.
Yep.
And like, you got to know how to defend yourself and fight.
It's not going to start. People come to learn because they want to learn to defend themselves against somebody throwing a punch, not because they're on the ground.
Not because they want to score points.
Score points.
Yeah.
You know, I love the sport jiu-jitsu. Like, I love, like, because it gives you a goal to work towards, you know. But at the end of the day, I feel the same. Like, it should be a martial art. It should be a martial art. It should be self-defense, you know.
But it's all one. People separate and think, oh, no. These people only teach self-defense. These people only teach grappling. No, it's all together. It's all.
Yeah.
But what people separate is, the self-defense part is too boring. Let's just roll. Let's just practice the ground grappling part, the takedowns and grappling. But the fight doesn't start like this. Fight in the street is going to start. You have to close the distance.
Yeah.
You got to be able to defend yourself, somebody throwing a punch. So it's self-defense.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, right? Like,
it's all one.
It's all one. Yeah. Gi, no gi, you know, self-defense. It should be.
All the moves that I taught today, I did not grab the gi at one time. We all had the gi on. But the gi is more like a tradition for us. Don't depend on it.
Yeah. 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 Gives you, I mean, for me as a jiu-jitsu long-term, that gives you some more tools and expands your mind, stimulates your mind.
Yes.
And keeps you going. You're always learning. I mean, it's never ending, right? It's never ending.
That's true.
Like, I learned some details
it's always
today.
a
I'm
new
like,
lapel roll, hold, and choke, and wrap the gi around your neck somehow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Going back to UFC 1, what you shared a little bit today on the Q&As. You know, what was, you know, UFC's coming up. What was the process like? Rorian's like, okay, we need you to represent. What was the dialogue? Why not Hickson? I mean, you know,
I was always like, come on, guys, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Let me do it, because there's always an older brother that's better, that's more athletic. So hard all the time chose me. I was more of a, let's say, fit the profile of an average person. Then some of the other brothers would be a little stronger and had more fights already. I never had a professional fight. So Horns, I fit more the profile of an average person, 178 pounds, going against 220, 240, 250s, 60s.
Yeah, Chemo.
Kim was, no, that was already UFC 3, Kim. But the first UFC was
Shamrock,
the biggest ones,
220. 220.
Built like Zeus, the gods.
Steroided out. Yoked out.
No, he was built like from gods of Greece. Zeus himself came down to fight me. But then everybody's like, oh my God, he's going to win. Because in the beginning, everybody thought the physique, he's bigger, he's stronger. Nobody bet on me. Yeah.
And so your UFC 1, it shows you, you know, what gave you strength? What gave you, you know, what helped you, you know, because so many things can happen, right? You can get knocked out and it just, you know, let down the family.
It's trust. I never let that get into my head. It's just trust. They'll say, go, I'll go. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Do this, it's going to work. Done. It's a thing, almost like a machine, a program. Just go, put your hands up, rush right in. It's going to work. They'll tell me to do it. Like the first fight was Art Jimmerson. He said, feel him out. Walk around, feel him out. And he's going to, if he comes at you, good. If he doesn't, start to corner him. And that's exactly what we did. Art Jimmerson didn't come, so I started to corner him. And guy in a clinch took him down, he quit. Shamrock, they already told me in the locker room, this time, walk towards him, never stop. Keep coming in. Just he think you're going to stop to face off. You never stop. Keep coming. Keep going. Shoot right in. That's what I did. And then once you get in a clinch, figure out what's going to happen. It's like figure out in the air. So I just walked right in. With Geraldo Gordo, it was already different. They said, back off. He probably saw your previous fight, so he's going to think you're going to come in straight at him. So just stay and wait for him to come at you. So, but a lot of knowing the moves, knowing what to do, and trust.
Trust. What did Hellier say to you after the first UFC one?
There was not much of a celebration. My father was not much of a celebrating kind of person. It's more of a pass the hand over the head. It's like, good job, kid.
That's no hug, no good job.
There's no. My father, it's celebrating what? That I won? I already won. I did what I know. If I lost, it would be a different reaction. But I won. I did what I know. I did what I got trained to do. So it wasn't like a surprise. Sometimes celebration, sometimes it's because you get surprised. I'm surprised that I won. Oh my God, I can't believe I won. What? What do you mean you can't believe you won? Yeah. Did you train to lose? You see, no, I trained to win. So I won. I did what another training day, what I practiced. So
since before you were born, it's true confidence, Gracie.
Yeah.
And trust me, that trait gets passed down from father to son because it's the same way for me too. Yeah. Every victory, it's like, hey, you did a good job. Time to go back to training. Yeah.
No, I normally tell you take a month off. Take a month off.
No, we take a month. Off. Yeah. But it's the same way. I mean, it's pretty much like
there's no celebration. My father was against celebrating.
Hug, pat on the back, something like that.
Maybe we go back to the locker room. Yes, in private. Yes, like my God, we won, but not in front of the opponent. There's no reason to do a dance. You already beat the guy. Now you're gonna humiliate the guy. That's what my father taught. That I was thinking was like, man, there was no reason for you to be taunting him after you already scored, you already won, you already scored the touchdown. Why do dance? You see, why taunt you put him down more? There's no need for that.
How did he react on like a loss?
It was pretty much of let's talk about it. What happened? Let's figure out what went wrong. Once we figure it out, okay, now let's fix it. Let's sit down and talk. There's no... The way where I learned from him is you have to know how to lose.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to lose. They take a loss. My God, my career is over. They want to done. My God, I can't fight anymore. Or even a player or any kind of game, any kind of sport, they can't take the loss. Yes, we're built to win. We train to win. But you have to know how to lose. You lose. Okay, thank you very much. You beat me today. I'll come back tomorrow. Let's do it again. You see, you got to know how to... It's a hard pill to swallow, I told him. It's a hard pill to swallow. But it keeps you humble.
Yeah, it does.
One thing I like about my losses was had a couple of losses that I called that shaking the tree. All the rotten apples fall off.
That's true.
All the people that you think is your friend, as soon as you lose, they go, "Yeah, I knew you're not that good." Yep. Oh, I thought you were my friend.
Right.
They talk trash about you.
Fair weather friends.
So it's good to know. It's good to lose once in a while, so you can shake the tree. All the rotten apples fall away, rolls away. The good ones don't matter, man. Stick. I told him, loyalty is not only when you win. The movie Muhammad Ali with Will Smith. I think there's a scene that they show that the wife comes in and goes, "Hold on, were all these people when you lost? You lost. There was nobody here. Yeah. Now that you won, you guys a bunch of leeches. They're all over here around you. They want
the fame.
They want the fame, the money, the presents. Because you win. As soon as you lose, everybody's gone, disappear. Nobody's around. So it's true for every sport.
Yeah, but fighting is like a different animal, right? There's so much. I mean, the whole world. If you lose, you get your, you know. Hopefully, you don't get knocked out or anything. But it's still like a lot heavier.
Every sport. If you think about it, every sport you lost, man. It's like you see,
it hurts.
A lot of people that you think sometimes are your friends, they're not. They change flags so fast. But that's why I like to walk in the cage. My father liked that too, and I think you like that too. On somebody else's turf, walk in on somebody else's house, fight against the local guy because the crowd's against me.
Yeah,
pumps me on. It's like, now I'm gonna turn them into my fans. I'm gonna steal every single one of them.
You use it, the adversity and the cheers that they're cheering for you or whatever you know.
They
motivate you.
They boo me when I walk in. It's like, okay, I'm gonna win you guys now.
I guess people cheered for you, right? The early UFCs when you were winning.
It was kind of mixed. It was about those jiu-jitsu guys there, students that cheer for me, but then the karate guys would cheer for the karate guy,
and then chemo was a different, that change because you were untouchable, right? The first two UFCs. The first UFC you had 3 fights, Valetudo, so all rules.
3 fights,
bare knuckle,
4 fights,
headbutts. Like people like the MMA, but man, Royce Gracie fought anything goes, you know, like headbutts, elbows, knees.
There was no
gloves,
just no body and no eye gouging.
That's the real jiu-jitsu right there, proving, right? Elbows to the back of the head if you want, if they're not opening up the neck, right?
Can't do that anymore.
No, that's way outside the lines now.
But then Kimo came along, but Kimo's, I used the wrong strategy, not because his size. I used the wrong strategy. I heard the guy was super strong, and I tried to match strength with him. So we both ended up dead tired. On the final end, I ended up catching him in arm lock.
Yeah.
We were both exhausted. Yep.
Thinking about it after, I mean, you could have given up, but what kept you fighting to win to the very end? Because that's a crazy fight. You were done, right? But
both of us, yeah. But then my father always said, when you're tired, he's tired too.
He was like,
did you work out? Did you train? Did you do your homework? Yes. Well, so it goes both ways. When you're tired, he's tired too. Don't assume that when you get tired, unless if you didn't train at all, and you get tired and the guy's fresh. But if you train, you get tired, he gets tired too. They're both tired.
Except he was double your weight.
250.
That helps a little bit, right? When somebody's double your weight.
6% body fat.
On top of you.
Yep. Strong. He was stronger.
But you could have quit, right? You're tired and there's a guy double your weight on top of you trying to kill you. Like, what kept you like, there was no quit. Like I when I watched the fight, or even now, right? Like there's no way you're going to quit. You're going to like try to win or die, trying to win.
There's no way I'm going to quit. I'll go to sleep before I quit. Go ahead and break it before I quit. You got it, break it. That kind of mentality sometimes scare a little bit my brothers on the corner. Because if the guy catch, go ahead, I'm not going to quit, man. You're going to have to break it. Break it, referee will stop. But yeah, it's not, I'm tired, but there's no, I'm going to call it. Never crossed my mind.
Why it just that was taught to you, like that's the example you had from your dad, your family?
I think it comes from the family, like Renzo's father, Robson, the father, who one time back way back in the day, before me. Renzo told me a story that he got hit. His father got hit. There's no mouthpiece back then. No gloves, no time limit, no weight division. Got hit, and he felt his tooth came out inside his mouth. He can feel the middle of the fight. He's fighting, he can feel the tooth came out. Well, I can give the guy the satisfaction to know that he knocked my tooth out and spit it out, or act like nothing ever happened.
Swallow it.
Swallow it.
It's crazy, man. It's the mentality guy.
Renzo got his arm broken by Sakuraba.
Yeah.
In his face, he's smiling. He's having a conversation after. I was like, dude, Renzo, did that hurt? He's like, it's the worst pain I ever felt, but I was not going to give him satisfaction right there and ball down and cry and hold my arm. My God, you broke my arm. There was no way I was going to give him that satisfaction. I got the locker room. It's like, man, I was in pain, but there was no way I was going to give him.
You know, you go to Renzo Gracie's academy in New York, right? And the picture of the Sakuraba in the Kimura.
Yep.
That's the center of the gym, right? And it's like, you could think of it, oh my God, I got defeated, you know, but he like celebrated it, you know? And it just, for me as a, you know, Gracie student, like, I don't know, it just elevates him so much higher, you know? Because speaking of how to lose and how to, you know, how to look at things, you know, it's just such an example. And yeah, what a crazy, that was like a crazy fight, crazy build up also, you know, for the fight. I remember that.
And a lot of people, like I said before, man, don't know how to lose. They lose, not just in fighting, but in any sport. They crumble, they fall apart. It's not just any sport. So you gotta learn. You gotta, makes you humble.
I think it makes you a better person, right?
Yep.
You have to swallow the pill.
You have to swallow that pill.
The humble pill. Yeah.
But then again, tell me one champion that haven't lost,
right,
besides Mayweather.
True.
But every team lost. Every player, every driver, they lose. Every athlete lose once.
If you go for it, right? If you go for it, if you really live your life.
Muhammad Ali is not the greatest because he won all his fights.
I agree.
Michael Jordan, because he won every game.
Did you watch The Last Dance, the TV show?
No, I haven't seen yet.
It's amazing. If you grew up in that era, you know, the 90s, you know, it's amazing.
I was born in the 90s.
You wouldn't know what we're talking
about. How old are you?
23.
23, yeah. Yeah.
I was born in 97, so.
Yeah. He talks about his losses, you know, and getting bullied by the Pistons, you know, and then it made him better, you know, made him better, made him stronger. Michael Jordan and the team, right? I mean, made them rise up, you know.
You learn from your losses for sure.
The bad boys.
Yeah.
From Detroit bad boys.
Royce Gracie knows.
This is from the Pistons. That's
the bad boys.
Dennis Rodman. Yep.
Oh, I know who that is.
Those are bad boys. From
Isaiah Thomas never made the Olympic team. He wasn't on the dream team because of the bad boys.
Bad boys. They will come in to fight in a basketball game. Beat everybody.
The big guy, Bill Lombard, he had the face mask, you know. Oh man. So UFC 3, UFC 4. Let's talk about Ken Shamrock before we go to the UFC 4. Ken Shamrock. What was the expectation? Like you guys had, you know, you guys game planned and things with the family. What was that like?
Man, Shamrock, he was probably the most dangerous guy in the tournament because he came from a background of wrestling, kickboxing. He fought in Japan with I think it was the pancreas style, the open hands to the face,
leg locks,
but kicks, punch to the body, and then you go to the ground, continue on the ground. So he was probably the most dangerous one, but until he ran into me. 3 times.
3 times, that's right, yeah. It was the fifth one, right? The fifth you fought again, the last one?
The fifth one, the UFC 5, we fought to a draw.
To draw, right.
To a draw. He hit me one square punch straight into the face.
But you guys fought again, right? Later on.
But then we fought
the master.
Yes, we fought in Bellator now.
Yeah.
We fought for Bellator.
Of course, all the jiu-jitsu, if you're Gracie, see you watching that, you know.
We fought for Bellator.
Yeah.
Yep, it was my last fight, my first knockout.
Yeah.
So so what was the game plan with the family when you were gonna square up with Ken Shamrock?
That's what they told me. Just on the first fight, walk straight in.
Walk straight in.
Walk right in. So don't let him, he think you're going to stop, you don't stop, just go straight in. The second fight, I waited for him to come to me. And he waited, and I pull guard on him, got in a clinch, pull him inside of my guard, stayed there he wouldn't do anything, he was just holding on to me the whole fight. 30 minutes, they separate us, stand up again, and then to restart the fight, they put an extra 5. They starting to put time limit back then. Put a 30 minutes, but then they said, let's improvise. Right there, they're like, let's add the extra 5 minutes. They did a 5 minutes. I made a mistake. He hit me a perfect right hand right on the eye. It was good to know that I don't fall as easy. It was perfect. I walked into a perfect right hand, man, from a 220 pounds. And I talk like a champ.
It's different, right? It's different gloves, and bare knuckles, right?
There was no gloves. There was no gloves. My
headbutts, including headbutts.
But
it changes everything.
So I still got in a clinch, and I was like, man, I can't believe I took this hit, man. And I pull guard again, pull him inside of my guard. But again, he hold on for 5 minutes. And the rules back then was if nobody quit, they starting to put time limits, it was a draw. And then the third fight now, Royler told me, time the crowd. So wait. He's going to wait because he wants to give his punch. He wants to try again. He wants to do one punch, try to knock you out. That's his style. So Royler said, sit back and wait. When the crowd booed the fight, if you watch it again, the crowd start thinking the fight is boring. They boo the fight. He comes at me to swing a big one. Royler said, when the crowd boos, he's going to swing. Get ready. So I stay away, 2 minutes into the fight. The crowd's like, boo, start to boo the fight. He steps into a big one. That's when I shoot him, get in a clinch. Get in a clinch, exchanging knees. I hit him. He hit me once. I hit him a couple of times, ended up hitting round the chin. I thought I hit his chest, his neck. It was round the jaw. His head turned. He dropped down, got on top, and just a couple hits, and he didn't react. The referee stepped in and stopped. Then after the fight, I even told Royler, man, I hit on the neck with that knee. Royler's like, no, you hit the jaw around the face.
Yeah.
Last fight, first knockout.
Jiu-jitsu. No, one of my friends, a lot of my friends, like the Victor Belfort, when he knocked the guy up brutally, like in the early UFCs, right? And he was like, and everybody's chanting jiu-jitsu, like that's jiu-jitsu. But you know, it's a perfect, I think a perfect circle, you know.
But it's part of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
we do teach strikes, side kick, like the seminar today.
Yeah.
Kicks and elbows, and it is part of jiu-jitsu. We're not as proficient as a boxer, but yes, we do throw punches.
I always think of it like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, you know, like efficiency, you know, efficiency like in a fight, you know, anything that's efficient, that's it. So a part of sometimes you have to strike, right, to close the distance. Or
even when you get on top of your opponent, let it rain down. You don't have to choke. Yeah. You want to punish him a little bit more. So my father would be against that. He would say you should have choked him out and just subdue him and finish him. And he deserves a punishment. Punch him a couple extra times.
Who was in your corner when you fought the last fight with Ken Shamrock?
It was him, Royler.
Was it the Valencians? No.
Yeah, Pedro.
Yeah, one of them came.
Pedro Valente. I think Rodrigo Gracie was there too.
That was epic. The fight to have Royce Gracie fight again. You know,
2 old men walking like canes.
Man, what was the last master one that we saw? Was it Henzo? Not Henzo. Was it Henzo in one fighting championship?
Henzo.
Man, those are like the best fights. You get so charged up. I do,
Henzo moves like a kid, man.
Come on. Because you don't want to see the other guy get, your guy get knocked out or anything happen, which can happen, right?
Yeah,
like a snap of a finger, blink, Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah. Okay, so UFC 4, you fight Dan Severn
in the finals. Yes, he was a strong guy. Not strong like Kim was strong, but he knows how to use his weight. So 260 felt like 300 pounds. So the wrestler knows how to put the weight and grinding. But like my father always says, he always taught me, don't fight to win, fight not to lose. If you don't beat him, the question is how you gonna if he doesn't beat you, the question is how you gonna beat him, how you gonna win. So don't lose. First thing is not to lose. So I played defense in the guard. He took me down
against Dan Severn. That was the mindset he told you.
Most of the fights, most of my fights were like that. He never said go for aggression and try to beat your opponent. No, fight not to lose. But then Severn, I let him. I kind of put my hands really high because I knew he was a wrestler. He was going to shoot in. He shot in, got inside of my guard, and I just neutralized him. Neutralize him. Don't let him hit me. He's driving his face into my head, my face, and trying to throw punches. I'm just controlling until he made a mistake. I got him in the triangle.
The announcers, right at the time, like, oh, he's losing. You have him in the triangle. Yes. They have no idea what the triangle was. What was the NFL guy, the football player?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, yeah, Jim Brown. Like, oh, he's losing, and he's about to tap out, right?
Actually, Jim Brown was on my side.
Right,
the other guy was against me, the other commentator, Bruce Buffer, I think.
Was it Bruce Buffer?
I think so, yes.
The commentator for the UFC?
No, not Bruce Buffer.
The guy who does the announcements for UFC?
It was another Bruce.
No, it was another one.
But I think it was Bruce's name.
Yeah.
But he was not Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer was the
what an interesting time,
But he was the commentator. One was on Dan Severn's side, and Jim Brown was on my side. He was quiet until I got him the triangle. He's like, never count the Gracies out.
It changed the whole face of martial arts all around the world.
I mean, from there, it just blew up.
I mean, I was in New Mexico, and I did jiu-jitsu, and I loved the way I felt, And then I watched your fights, And then I was like, oh wow, this really works in a situation. And then I just became obsessed with it. Not, I don't want to fight in the street, but that it works, right?
You wanna know?
Yeah.
Everybody have that doubt, like, man, this stuff really works or not. And
do you ever go back and watch the old UFCs?
I do, yeah.
The original UFCs.
Oh, yeah. I've seen them more than a handful of times, I would say.
What do you think when you?
I think that the game has changed a lot since then.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot since then.
It's almost a different sport in a way, because when you can't elbow somebody in the back of the neck to open up that rear naked choke.
Well, there's that, but there's also more of what I'm touching on is everyone knows everything now.
Right.
Like back then it was one martial art versus another, and really to see who was the OG, who was the best. Yeah.
Which style is the best. Yeah.
And I think now everyone kind of knows a little bit of everything. So it makes you study more martial arts instead of just focusing on your one. Or two or three.
All the karate guys learn jiu-jitsu, learn how to wrestle. All the wrestlers learn boxing. So it became more of a all around an athlete against an athlete instead of style against a style.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah. When I first started fighting in 2002 is when I did my first MMA fight. Yeah, I was representing jiu-jitsu because it was still early in the day in the game, But I felt I was representing jiu-jitsu. There weren't a lot of black belts competing or fighting. But I was representing jiu-jitsu. That's what I felt, I was representing all my brothers, all my teachers, the Gracies. That's what I felt in my heart, and I was
2002.
2002.
They already put gloves on by then. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. When the gloves came in, remember? It was
2000 maybe. 2001.
It was 98. I was gonna say
98, 99.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Just before, I think, 2000.
That's when they put the gloves on. They start to add the time limit. And
Yeah.
I remember John Wano made the first gloves, you know,
Yep.
that the real ones. Before that, they were like, I don't know, I would even call those gloves, you know. When you say 98, I think of like the gloves that they had. I was like, are those really gloves?
Bruce Lee gloves.
But John Wano, I remember, like he made the first legit MMA gloves.
Yep.
For UFC and for King of the Cage. So Dan Severn, you beat Dan Severn, and what was life? Because I want to go back actually before that, when you first came to the US. It was such a different time, you know, like nobody knew what jiu-jitsu was, and you were fighting, you were, you know, challenge matches, right? The Gracie challenge. I was talking to Scotty from On the Mat, you know. And we were just talking about Half Gracie stories, and people, you know, people would come off the street, and if they could beat a Gracie, they would, I think it was like $50,000 or something. They would get paid.
Yeah.
And so you had all
No, that was hold on.
Something
we
like
didn't
that.
pay people to come over and try to fight us. No, that happened. The $50,000 challenge happened between Horion and Ben Urquidez in the Jet. I guess Horion, long time ago, when he first got to California, he went to trying to find a place to teach, to show jiu-jitsu. So he ended up at Benny's place, I think in Hollywood at the time. Or the
North Hollywood, yeah.
But anyway, so Hardy went there with a student and let me show what I got. And so he went against Benny without really knowing who Benny was, and took Benny down, mounted on Benny, and Benny's trying to swing it. It's like, okay, people getting like, hold on, what are you doing here? You come over here to challenge, whatever. So they laughed in the bad terms, kind of. Years later, during the movie Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, yeah.
Somebody, one of the guys, a producer, was trying to, because they brought Horion to become on the first Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson, they brought Horion to become the stunt coordinator for the fight scenes. So I was already here with Horion. So we went there to set a couple of times with him. But Horion spent a few months training Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Gary Busey for the fight scene. But then one of the producers was trying to do a production, a show, like almost like a MMA, looking for people that fight and the different styles. And that's when they went to Benny and said, hey, we have this Brazilian guy, talking about Horion, that fight. That was before the UFC, that fights anybody. Benny was like, I'll fight, but tell him my price is $50,000. We're like, hold on. So I have to pay to fight you? Horion said. He's like, yeah, you pay, we fight. Horion's like, what if I win? Well, you take my belt. Horion's like, I don't want your belt. I'm not a kickboxer. He was a world champion in kickboxing at the time. So that's when Horion said, let's make a $50,000 bet. You put 50,000, I'll put 50,000.
Because that was probably in the late 80s, right?
Yes.
When he was his
late
prime.
80s, yes. So it was like, let's make a bet. You put 50,000, I'll put 50,000. Not your belt against I pay you 50,000. I'll give you 50,000. If you lose, you give me the belt. If you win, you keep your belt. It's like, hold on. Either way, I lose 50,000. Come on, really? I'm Brazilian. I'm not stupid, man. Come on. So that's when the thing came out. I think the Horion did a interview with Playboy, and the whole thing came out.
That's what that was.
Came out like they pay $50,000 for whoever come here. No. We'll make a bet. You bring 50,000, I'll bring 50,000. If you have $100, we'll match you.
Marketing.
You put 100,000, we'll put 100,000. But not pay people to come over and try to beat us. But we had several people that came in and was like, hey, we're here to fight. Okay. Well, do I get my 50,000? No. If you bring 50,000, we'll match your 50,000. No, I don't want to do any money. Can I just fight? Sure. Sometimes we pick up the students right there on the spot. Hey, you got to get in a clinch with this guy. Huh? Okay, I guess so. No warning, no training.
It's like Gracie in action, huh?
Yep,
Gracie in action.
There's no warning. There's no.
You guys were the
training.
The gatekeepers, the guinea pigs, gatekeepers,
yes.
Right? for the name.
So it's like, hey, You gotta go in a fight, get in a fight right now. Okay. It's like, okay, let's do it. Who do I have to get in a clinch takedown? But don't beat him too much, okay? Let's see if he can sign up to become a student. We tried to gain students, and actually a lot of the guys that came in turned into students.
Yeah.
We show it to them that, dude, I can beat you, but I'm not gonna do it. So they end up signing up, become students.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to my friend, my longtime black belt friend from Brazil, and Draculino is like a really small guy, right? And so he didn't believe. He's like, I don't really believe in jiu-jitsu. I want to learn jiu-jitsu, but I don't know about this guy. And he tapped him out. He mopped the floor with him like 20 times. He doesn't remember how many times. And he's like, okay. But those were those times. It was like Fight Club days, right?
Yeah.
Just wait. People come in to try out. Good old days.
Yeah. You started fighting in Japan?
After, yes. I went to Japan in 2000.
2000. And let's talk about the Sakuraba fight, the legendary Sakuraba fight.
Most boring fight ever. Oh my God.
How many hours?
It was an hour and 45 total.
An hour and 45 minutes.
6 rounds of 15 with 2-minute resting. So hour and a half fighting. If we sit over here for an hour and a half, we got buns will get numb. The crowd fell asleep and woke up, we're still fighting. My God. He finally threw a kick, broke it was a partial tear on the tendon and a crack on the shin. As soon as I sat down, I told my father and Khonry at the time on my corner, I told them, I can get up, but I can't walk. What do you want me to do? Tell me. So there's like, Khonry repeat his famous quote to me. Let's not confuse being tough with stupidity. You already proved that you're tough. Continue to be stupidity.
Says up the fight.
So then I fought him again in a rematch and beat him.
Yeah, I remember that. All the Ken Shamrocks make sure we got the trilogy, right?
I'll go back to hunt them. It's okay.
Somebody asked you today at the seminar, like if you still want to fight, but you know the right things come into play, right? You never know.
Yeah. But chemo happened pretty much similar to that. After chemo's fight, I go to the locker room. They strip me down my gi, throw me in a cold shower because I was exhausted, dress me up. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 minutes. No less than 10, no more than 15 minutes between one fight and the other. And I'm exhausted. Dress me up and we got to go. You got to fight again. So I walk out, get in the cage. Right before I walk out, I stop before I go live on camera. I remember I was with brothers in front and behind me, and I go, hold on, guys. I got to lay down for a second. And I lay down, took a breath, got up, and let's go again. Let's go. What I don't remember is when I lay down, Helson came up to me and goes, hey, you need anything? I said, I want some watermelon juice. I was passed out, dehydration. I go, I need some watermelon juice. He's like, dude, I'll give you as much as watermelon juice you want after the fight. Right now, we can't go get that right now. We're about to go live. Get up. I remember laying down. I remember getting up. Don't remember this conversation.
The chemo fight.
I walk out. After the chemo fight.
Right, for the second after the fight.
Yeah, I beat chemo. Then I came back and I walk in the cage. I remember MacArthur's referee came up to me. He's like, are you ready? I go, yes. And the stadium got shut down on me. Everything got black on me. I can hear everything. I turn around. I told my brothers, my father's like, I cannot see anything. So MacArthur came over and saw me turning my back to him. He's like, I'm not ready. He's like, came over. He's like, hey, again, are you ready? I turn around. I was like, yep, I'm ready. As soon as I feel him walk away, I go, guys, do something because I can't see anything. Point me in the right direction. Where do you want me to go? Tell me what to do here because I can't see a thing. It's just totally black out. And then MacArthur came back and Khonry said, no, let's not confuse being tough with being stupid. You can't see a thing. Later we find out dehydration.
Yeah, dehydration, right? Dehydration or
just
blood sugar.
Pretty much out.
Yeah.
Couldn't see a thing, standing up, just without anything. So just passed out, shut down.
before we knew we didn't know about electrolytes, but before we had like the little packets and that
you just chug a packet.
You're just like attitude and old school.
But that's the difference pretty much today. The training, the preparation, it's much, the equipment, everything is much better. The everything is much better. A right hand is the same. A right hand is a right hand. You see, a jab is a jab. A choke is a choke. A choke from 10, 50 years ago is the same choke. Today is the same. The Mata-Leão or the rear naked choke is the same from 50 years ago. But the preparation, how to get there, and all the technology involved, the equipment.
Right. The things we have, right? I have a Aura ring on, you know?
Yes.
Track my sleep and all those recovery things, like the TACFA stuff that I'm doing.
The sleeping tent, so you can train in the high, sleep in the high altitude and everything. Today, technology, man.
Because it's a razor edge, right? If you can win or lose on just a little bit, a little fraction. Yeah, it's interesting. You watch the old fights and how the game has evolved. But now,
how raw it was.
Yeah,
bunch of cavemen walking in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Me beat you.
I was like, yeah. But you know, like it's just your family, and your family, like you proved, you know, that, and now everybody has jiu-jitsu in their game, like you. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Everybody have to.
Nobody can say anything, you know. Everybody's trained jiu-jitsu around the world.
But that was Rorion's dilemma. Do we create this, the UFC, and show to the world, or keep it to ourselves? Because once America find out, the whole world will find out. Tomorrow, guys are gonna beat us because we're not Superman, we're not super athletes. You see, we just train, we just have dedication. So tomorrow, guys are gonna learn and they're gonna come after us with our own thing, with our own toys, our own weapons. So do we keep this to ourselves or show the world, save the world? That was Rorion's dilemma, Rorion's choice. Let's save the world, show everybody jiu-jitsu, how important it is to know. Even Geraldo Gordô, after I beat him the first time, he went back to Holland, because I went to teach at his school a few years ago, and then he went back to Holland. He's like, man, we have to prepare somebody to beat the Gracie, to beat me. So they prepared Remco Pardue. I fought him on UFC 2. They came back with Remco, who's a judo champion. They taught him stand up, the punching, kicking. And I beat Remco. Remco was what, 260 pounds, 265 pounds. Judo champion, stand up, new stand up, fighting the kickboxing, the savate stuff that Geraldo Gordô does. And I beat him like nothing. Geraldo Gordô said, after you beat Remco, we have to learn the stuff. We have to learn now. It's like, first you beat me, now you beat Remco. We're like, we got to learn.
Yeah, he got his black belt from Draculino. He competed at the first World Championship. Yeah.
Yes.
In 1996, fought Laborio. Yep. You know, Laborio armbarred him. You know, and he got his black belt. You know, he's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
And good guy, good fighter, good
tough guy.
Grappling too.
So you fought in Japan. Did your dad ever want you not to take a fight?
No. Doesn't matter. He never chose. We never chose opponents. It's whoever, put it in. Let's go. It was always up to the test.
Yeah.
He never said no. Don't fight this guy. The Rorion never said that either. From the beginning, it was tournament, so you didn't know who you're gonna fight. It's a luck of the draw. So. And then later on, Japan was already preset matchups, single fights, not tournaments anymore, but there was never such a thing. Like when they put me against Akibono, a lot of people in my own family say,
How much is it weigh? 800 pounds?
No, Akibon is 6'8", 490.
490, okay.
490.
At that point, right? It's counting.
490 pounds.
500 pounds.
400, anything above 300 is the same, okay? I can't pick it off the ground.
Yeah.
Can you pick up a Volkswagen off the ground?
Definitely not.
Oh, you cannot pick up a bus either. So a Volkswagen and a bus is the same thing.
That's a lot of food, huh? To make that.
But 6'8", 490. And a lot of people are like, man, you're out of your mind. The guy's a sumo wrestler. There's no way you're going to take him down. How are you going to take him down? There's no way. He get paid not to put his knee on the ground. How can you out-punch him? He's not a puncher. He's not a boxer, kickboxer. He's not a striker. You can't out-punch the guy. It's like everybody was like thinking that way. Less than 3 minutes, submit him.
Yeah, it's amazing. Made jiu-jitsu, you know, again, jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu salva, jiu-jitsu save.
After that fight, a lot of people came up to me and was like, yeah, but he's big and fat and slow. And well, walk up to a 6'8", 490 pounds, slap him on the face. You see how slow he is. Yeah. He'll charge you into you, go through a wall with you.
I lived in Brazil in the late 90s, you know. About 5 years off and on, you know, but for quite a few years. And then we went to the beach, you know, for your match with Valij. You know, we had Draculino competed and a bunch of other guys competed, you know, and you know, we're Gracie, you know, and of course like Valij is a Gracie student, you know, but it was just like the Kazakayu, like the house fell, you know, like when you lost, you know, we're like, like all of us were like super bummed, you know, like, and we're sport competitors and stuff, but still, you know, we're
but
like,
never walk away. Have I ever told you not to take a fight?
No.
It's like whoever they put in front.
Yeah, whoever it was, we always said yes.
He never chose a fight either. So we don't really choose. Whoever they put in front. You want to do it? Let's do it. Let's go. So put up to the test. Yeah.
Yeah, you fought everybody. All different styles, right? And always a target, you know. You guys, like, you always talking to you know, how does it feel growing up Gracie, right? With the kind of a target on your back, but
like I said, it's a blessing or a curse, one of the two.
Right? the Gracie name, right? The Gracie name like carries a lot of can carry a lot of weight, right?
But the thing is, we're not here for a season.
Yeah.
For us, a lifetime. You see, it's a life. It's not. Most people come and go. Like most sports, people come and go. It's a season. Nah, for us, it's 24/7.
And there's no retiring from it ever. I mean, Vovoelio never retired. I mean, till the late 90s or early 90s, he was still training.
Yep.
You know, back at the farm, my grandfather. So,
way of life, right?
Yeah,
way of life.
It's something we love to do. You never stop. Yeah.
I talked to Saulo Ribeiro, you know, and he was saying how much influence he had on him, and he would train with him. That was in the late 90s, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, no, nobody can beat me. He was so intense, even at that age, you know.
Oh yeah.
Nobody can beat me, and he took that energy in, you know. He was telling me how I had such a big influence on him.
Yeah,
So like, what's way of life, right? Way of life. Like when I did an interview with one of my longtime black belt friends, and I was like, what do you think? What's giving you the most in jiu-jitsu? And he's like, the brotherhood and the relationships, the friendships.
The confidence.
For you, the confidence?
Yep. Confidence to deal with anybody, any situation.
How about for you, Connor?
I don't know. I would say, I mean,
at this stage of your life,
I would say confidence, but I think being raised in this family already gives you a lot of confidence.
You don't have a choice, right?
I mean, like,
you don't act any different, boy.
I mean, I would say probably the dedication. You got to wake up every day. You got to show up to the gym. Yeah, the discipline. You gotta, clean the mats at the end of every training, and you know, there's a lot of work that comes in with that kind of stuff, and especially any martial art, to be honest. And I think that growing up doing that just teaches you a lot, you know. But I think every day doing it back to back and over again, that's what kind of builds character in somebody, you know.
having the discipline to get up and do it.
Yeah.
Do you smoke?
No.
Do you drink?
No.
Do you go out every weekend and party? And
I honestly, you kind of touched on this today in the class that you know, we don't really do a lot of that. And there, I was gonna step in today in the class, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna let him do his thing. But we give up a lot of that for the training.
You still got the takedown at the end though. After the class.
You saw that, huh? Hey, you got to catch him off guard, or else it ain't gonna happen. He wasn't looking. You got to catch him off guard, or else it ain't gonna happen. So, no, but you give up a lot of that, you know, partying, that drinking, that smoking.
What people say is good.
Yeah.
The party every weekend, go out and get drunk with your friends.
Yeah.
The fun things.
Fun, yeah.
I don't look at that as fun. I don't look as
you replace a lot of that with the training, especially as like a professional athlete, you know, as somebody who does this for a living, even, you know, instructors and guys who teach every day, you give up a lot of that to benefit your job, your school, your career, you know, whatever it may be. And I think we do that really, really well. You know, we would rather give up that and be better in the training, you know, than stay out all night and then show up to training the next morning and be slow or dragging or half, you know, dead sleeping or, you know, something like that.
There's no Sundays in our house.
Yeah, there's no Sundays. Yeah.
Way of life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm going to get up and go for a run.
I'm going to get up and go for a run too.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just let
sure.
you know.
I'll see you on the mountain.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I know you're going to be faster, but I will run longer.
That's fine. That's fine with me. I'll be home eating breakfast while you're still out running. That's okay with me. Listen, I got up, I'll do my thing, and then I'll come home. That's it. It's done. At least I get up and do it.
I like to take my time, okay?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. The way of life, you know, for me, the way of life, like your family, like this, exactly what we're talking about. For me, like that's the greatest gift, you know, and I get to share with others. You know, we have a little, you know, cafe, you know, and just everything, right, that we do
healthy,
here. Healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's true happiness, you know, for me. It's happiness, you know. The friendships that I've had, like, I mean, they were my friends for, 25 years. I mean, other side of the world, in Brazil, we're all over the world.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu has given me that, you know. I can not see them for a lot of years, and boom, like just like that, we're so close.
15 years.
And there's such
15 years.
15, yeah, right. That's crazy. Yeah. A perfect example. You know, right? Hey,
just like it was yesterday. Yeah.
You know, you had mentioned Hobson as well. You know, and I saw a video, and they use this audio. You know, how it's something jiu-jitsu, something like spiritual and from another, you know, realm or universe or what. You know, it's just it's deeper than just like the self-defense even, but it's like such a spiritual thing. And I mean, it's like quantum physics, right? Like, man, I can not see somebody for 10, 15 years. And just like that, we're back, you know?
I'm actually reading a book on Einstein right now. Speaking of quantum physics, it's actually a really good book. It's about Einstein's life, but I was been reading about quantum physics lately. It's a good read.
We don't have to call each other every day, but we're so in peace with life. It just gives that peace, believe it or not. But do training jiu-jitsu or any exercise when you do involved with sports, it's a stress relief, and you're in peace with life. So you can stop. Don't like friend of ours in England. We talk every 6 months, and he's just mentioned that to me. It's like, man, you are one of my longest friends that I have. Got people came and left my life, and you're still here. Why can't you go away? His English always mess with me. I was like, really, dude? But it's like we pick up the phone. It was like yesterday. So yeah, because we're in peace with life.
Yeah, amazing. You know, like blows my mind. Like, and as a teacher, like I want to give that to like my students. I want that experience. You know. Yeah. Like these bonds, these relationships that they're creating, they're real relationships.
It comes with time. Some things you cannot, you teach by example, not sit down in a classroom and teach that. So it takes time. Time
in the way of in that way of life, right? Of that, you know,
absolutely,
taking care of yourself, everything, right? Physically, mentally, and yeah. Yeah, we're in a crazy time right now too. Like I feel like, you know, yeah, I'll go into that, you know.
Yeah.
Keep talking about it. What are you most grateful for in your career?
My kids. Have somebody like this pushing me around all day long. Broke my rib.
Taking you down after your seminar.
Kicked me on the ribs. Broke my rib.
I was accidentally.
We're sparring for his training camp, for his fighting.
No, it wasn't.
Never broke a bone fighting. Until he trained with him, he break my rib.
He's a Gracie. What do you expect?
I don't think I'm going to take it easy on you just because you're my dad. Like,
your kids.
Yep.
Having your son, they're doing this way of life. I mean, for me, as a, you know, just my life, right? Just to see that, it was really special for me to. That's why I asked you if you could come on too, you know, just so I could talk to you guys both, because it's really, for me, it means a lot, and it's really special, you know, to see that bond and to see the legacy continue. Yeah. The healthy way of life, and just, you know, exactly what you guys did.
Gotta pass some things down, you know. Some things gotta live on forever.
Yep.
What are you grateful for in growing up Gracie and this way of life? Yeah,
that's okay. I'm not gonna plug it now, but
you have a documentary coming out.
No, that we made a YouTube not too long ago about just like the things we do around the house and like the life we live outside of like jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, you know, just like the crazy stuff we do. And we just started a YouTube channel on that. But the things I'm grateful for is definitely growing up and learning the tradition, because a lot of people nowadays forget the past, forget the tradition, forget what came before them, you know? And I think for me, that's a huge thing in my life right now. You know, it's just learning what came before me, learning the history, the past, all the traditions, you know, everything that we have, you know, and hold dear in the family, you know, things that I don't want to give up, you know?
What's your favorite memory of your professional career?
Winning the first UFC. No, forget it. Hold on. You the second UFC.
Here we go again. He's got the
second UFC script. First UFC was only 3 fights. The second UFC was 4 fights. No, scratch that one. Chemo, 250 pounds. Jack, nah, scratch that one. Fighting Shamrock. All of them, man. Akebono, Sakuraba, all of them. It's hard to pick one.
The journey.
Yep.
The journey. What was your lowest point?
Haven't had yet. Hadn't had that yet. Because I understand. I'll probably never reach that. Because I understand how things happen. The losses. People ask me all the time, what would you change? Nothing. Would do it exactly the same all over again.
No regrets.
Nope. It meant to be that way. If you change anything, it would probably disturb the whole piece. So in the universe of my world, you guys just live in it.
And we live like a very positive lifestyle too. So there's no, even if there are lows, they're not true lows, you know. We live a very good lifestyle, so very healthy lifestyle.
So I haven't hit that yet. Probably never will.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the right answer, right? No regrets, you know. Like I did my best, right, with whatever situation I was in.
Yep.
And it is what it is. Yeah. And one of my favorite memories is the Gracie train. I mean, nobody has a Gracie train. Nobody has a train like that in the family now. What does your family mean to you? All of your family?
Oh man, they came before me and some are coming after me. It's tradition. Totally tradition. What they did back then and what they're gonna do in the future. So the roads that they went to, that they took, that they chose, could have chosen to be anything else. But nah, let's figured out if they could have learned the martial art and just bow down and be quiet. No. We learned, but let's put it to the test. That's how my father and uncles and cousins and old brothers, and let's put it to the test. I want to test to see if this thing really works. They could have just bowed down and be quiet about it, and MMA would never exist. They just could accept
because it died out pretty much, right?
In the world, died out, yeah. So everybody be practicing the judos, the karates, everybody being peace and love, but they have to be some Scottish blood mixed with Brazilian,
that's
the
what
north of
be,
Brazil, huh? That goes
some Braveheart genes.
Yeah, what if the opponent was bigger and stronger and they can do whatever they want? Let's put it to the test. See, with no time limits, no gloves, no mouthpiece, no cup, nothing, no protection whatsoever. Just duke it out until somebody quit. Yeah, let's try. Crazy Paraíbas.
That's what it took, right? That's what it took.
With the Scottish last name, whew, bad mix, man.
Craziness. Well, thank you to you for being the example of what jiu-jitsu really is in those days. I mean, I'm always to my last breath. I'm a Gracie student. My kids are my students. People say, "Oh, American Jiu-Jitsu." I'm always going to be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it was really a big deal for me in my life when I was younger. Just the Brazilian culture, the connection, the human connection. And when I listen to Robson Gracie say that thing about it being a higher power, I don't say religion, but kind of it raises your spirit. The connection what jiu-jitsu does. Like who'd have thought me choking you or trying to choke you and arm barring you and just wrestling around. But it's really given me everything that successful in my life.
But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, American Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Why not Spanish Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Why not? It's kind of like soccer.
Yeah,
that's kind of like soccer. The Brazilians have one style, the Americans have one style, the English have a different style. But who invented soccer? The English.
Oh yeah,
yeah. England invented soccer, so it came from England. You see, but the Japanese, the Southeast Asia over there, they have a different style. Right. The Africa have a different style. The South Americans have a different style. The North America have a total different style. They adapt for themselves. Yeah. But they all came from my father, my uncles.
Yeah, that's it.
My cousins.
That's it.
They started.
That's it.
See, they is the one that renovate. They didn't create the whole thing. They learned.
They kept it.
They just kept it and they put it to the test. Like I said, if my father and my uncles would have just bowed down, there wouldn't be MMA today. There wouldn't be the competitions all over. You see, so they learn and they adapt, they modify, they kind of made it easier so a smaller person can defend themselves against somebody bigger and stronger. So, yeah, I don't even get involved in the politics of, oh, it's American Jiu-Jitsu.
No, yeah. I guess I was saying
where it came from.
Yeah. See, it's from the family and keeping it alive. So I'm grateful. And I'm grateful also for that I had the opportunity to, to learn, directly from many and move to Brazil at the source, So, and just to have you here today with your son on the mat. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.